All right, I'm going to be really brief. My role in this has been pretty small. I'm going to apologize. I have to sneak out afterwards to go somewhere else too. But the reason I came on this project, my work is largely in pedagogy using film and media in the classroom, especially to teach about history, culture, politics, and also looking at visual culture. So I've done a lot of work working with museums, both on the critical analysis side, but also using kind of new media to produce knowledge essentially and disseminate it. So there's a couple of things that we're looking at in particular. One is, what can film do as a medium when you bring it into a classroom, especially if you're looking at language and culture, that maybe other kinds of mediums can't? And one is, it can serve in sort of different ways. So a film can serve very much as bringing in different perspectives, depending if it's a Western representation of a culture in China, if it's multiple different perspectives coming from different parts of China, different groups, or very much one of the ways I think that's really interesting is using film from different periods and different groups to really bring in kind of the issues, values, ideas of the times of production too. So if you compare films from the 1950s in China to a film from the 2000s or other periods, you can really use it to kind of interrogate and look at different aspects of it. So I think this can be a really important thing, and it can really be used, I think, especially when you're looking at students of very little experience in another culture, to really challenge some of the assumptions they might have. So some of the stereotypes that are built up, say, in Western style media, you can use media from countries or even indigenous groups to sort of challenge many of those things. So the second part, and this is, I came into Emily's group who's going on study abroad this summer, to really look at also aspects of visual ethnography. And those of you, if you're kind of familiar with this or not, one of the things that we're seeing a lot in ethnographic research is the use of visual media in particular to both kind of collect data, capture evidence, but also to communicate what they're finding. And this has really come out of the trend of ethnography since 60s and 70s trying to be more self-reflexive in terms of placing themselves in their own research. And so one way you can try to do this is to think about the nature of what, again, a visual medium can bring that maybe you can't do in writing. The same with audio or auditory learning too. And I think with the language and culture, this is particularly important because if a student is not very fluent yet in a language, they're interviewing people, they can interview it on film, they'll have it to go back to. It's a very practical thing in terms of capturing the conversation that they're having. They can go back to it if they're going to transcribe it, go back, re-listen to it, see what they missed. I think that's one very powerful aspect when they're doing field work like Emily's students are doing. But also when they come back, they're going to be able to capture all sorts of visual things that maybe they don't notice while they're there that's going to emerge later. And then the other part that her group is going to be doing in particular is setting up WordPress sites like what we saw up here. And in there, they can include video as part of their project. And this can also help place them in it. So they're talking about both kind of their experiences in it, what their interpretation of it is, but they can also then show that interview so other people can also look at it and possibly bring other things away from it. So I think one of the things that we can really do with this visual medium, again, is to both complement sort of the written word, but also, again, to use it to challenge people's assumptions about that culture and to really give them, I think, a better, more in-depth understanding possibly than what you can do just in more traditional mediums. Great. Who's next?